Marius, morning.
Good morning,
Uh,
Vikas. How are you doing?
very well, Marius. Marius, I just
Excellent.
want to jump quickly into our
hmm
question today, and that is about technical analysis and predictive analysis.
hmm
In my mind, and it's very simplistic, technical analysis used to be the thing that traders used to make money. The things like
hmm
Fibonacci circles, Elliott wave theory. Those are the tools that they use to make money for themselves, and they use to apply those techniques to make money for their clients and for their friends and family.
hmm
But now, with predictive analysis, in which you are the specialist, and I think I know you are the world leading predictive analysis with your long-term reports. It seems to me predictive analysis is now the new kid on the block. You know, um,
mm
because as we said last week, you have almost 100% that you use
hmm
artificial intelligence in these predictive analysis.
mm
But hence, when you give us our reports, the long-term trade reports, medium trade reports, it seems, there's also, you discuss Fibonacci circles and Elliott wave theories that we see in these reports as well. So my question to you today is predictive analysis and technical analysis, are they complementary to one another, or are they in opposition to one another, if it makes
Absolutely,
sense?
because that's actually a really great question. Now, to answer that really in detail, we probably need to spend a lot more time, but I'm going to try and answer that really quickly in about, let's say, 5 minutes, because people want to look at things really quickly. Now, the first thing, let's quickly go and have a look at this chart that we have. In this chart that we normally present to our members here at bitcointaf.com, is a few things there, but there's one main thing that's actually really important here. And what it is this here, which is kind of like your predictive analysis, as what you call it, or let's say what we call the algorithm data. Now, this chart here was the chart that we had prepared about 18 months ago. And this is derived from what we mentioned last week. We use artificial intelligence, we use news from around the world, we use data, we compile it into software, and then it tells us what market events will appear in the next year, 2 or 3. And almost about 18 months ago, we prepared this. And here we said, okay, right, on 10 November, we're going to have a top right there. And if you look at the previous chart that we had, we said there will be another top there, and that top was actually that top there. And then we said we're going to come down into point number 3. So point number 3, that's correct. We had a move sideways, although this showed that it's a lot longer. This was actually a lot shorter, but then we dropped into point number 4 there. And then, of course, what happens here now is that we are in a very long sideways move here. As what you can see here, very long sideways move. So that should do something like that. And then ultimately it's going to break out here into this target, which is EE. What you refer to is what I mentioned here, predictive analysis. Now remember, you and as any of our other members, you know exactly what's going to happen after here because we've already given that data out. So the chart doesn't end here. The chart goes further. But I'm not going to 100% mention what it's going to do here because that's actually for our subscribers. Let's go back and we quickly have a look now at what else I have on the chart here. I'm going to remove all the drawings here, but there is an indicator that I have, which is basically, for example, the Bollinger Band here. And this is where we get into technical analysis. And what I'm going to do here, I'm going to take this off for the time being, just the lower and middle, take that off. And then I'm going to put this on. Now, I use the predictive analysis as my number one because I know the market direction. But now I also want to have a look at what the market is going to do by, I'm just going to use in this case the death cross, which is kind of like the 200 and the 50 MA. Now this Bollinger Band, you can go and put on, let's say for example, the 21 MA, that's almost the same, or you can use the 20 MA. This one here is the 200 MA, and then the green one here is the 50 MA. Now, if you want to trade very simple and very easy, let me just copy this chart over here. I'm just going to copy that and bring that back over. So there's that, and I'm just going to delete this. Okay. So remember now, we were at the top. That top was, I believe it was that top. Okay, so we are there. Now remember, the people that have our data, remember the previous data on this was that it came down here, it went up here, it went down here, and then we had a top there. And remember, way back in May, June of 2021, I don't know if you can recall, but we called the top and we said that top there, that is the top. And we told our members to exit positions here. And then we said we're going to go down for 9 months. Now, 9 months is about there, but you can see we're actually going down a little bit further. Now, we said we're going to go down for 9 months, but it can be extended. We don't know how far. So in that case, remember now, our predictive analysis was 100% correct. But now I'm going to show you something here why we also use technical analysis. Now, one of the major things that we need to look at is this Bollinger Band, which is the brown one, the 200 MA, and the green line. Now, I'm working here on the day chart. Now, when you have a cross like that, can you see that the Bollinger Band crossed below the 50 MA? That is a sell zone. Now, when the Bollinger Band crosses above the 50, that is a buy zone. When the Bollinger Band crosses below the green, that's a sell zone. When it crosses up again there, that's a buy zone. When it crosses there again to the downside, you sell, you exit. And then here, remember this now, it can catch you out a lot here. If it crosses there and you bought, you would have gone sideways. Then it crosses here again, you go, wow, we're going to go up. And it caught a lot of people here. Now, this is where our data comes in handy. Look where that is. Now remember, we said to our members, listen, guys, we have to be careful because there's a point number 3 coming here. So that top, remember in our reports, we said that is the top. That's the top of 10 November. Then we said we're going to go down. Now, where technical analysis sometimes fail is where this Bollinger Band said it's going to go up. But remember, nonetheless, if you only follow this strategy, you exit, you stay out of the market, Here, you could have bought. Here, you could have exit. Now, look what happens here at the point now. This Bollinger Band is about to turn up. This green is about to do this. So that will become another buy. Look at this. This point number 3 is that point number 3 there. Point number 4 is that point there. Then we go sideways. And then the market turns around. That becomes a buy. Now, this is how we know that this can potentially be the bottom. You've spoken about Elliott wave. Now remember, this is our algorithm data, which is our predictive data. Remember, we say that the market is going to break upwards here. It's going to turn around like that. And many people are going to be surprised by this because, you know, where the market just suddenly turns around. Keep in mind that the market can still wick down. It can come a little bit lower than that. But that was your exit point. If you exited there, it's not a problem. But if you're still in the market and this drops, you should exit. Now, let me quickly go. I'm going to share something which I barely actually do, but let me go and share the Bitcoin chart. Yeah, now you've spoken about Elliott wave. Now, let's go here to the 4 hour. Okay, first of all, let's go to the day chart. Now, in Elliott wave, if you look at the day chart for Elliott wave, now this is something that I use as well when I trade, because remember, I want to make sure that I use every single indicator to my data because I do it full time. So I want to make sure that I'm educated, trained, and know what I'm doing. So in this case here, we're at the top there, which is a WXY. It's kind of like an ABC down. Then you've got an ABC up to the top there. Now, with regard to Elliott wave, we can quantify and say this is another W, that's an X, and that's a Y. And then we come down here to the bottom. So let's go into the 4 hour chart and have a look now. I'm going to zoom into this little area there now in the 4 hour chart. So here we are. That was that top. See that total top there is that top there. Let me just get out of that. So that was the top. Let me just show you where that is. It's actually far away in the chart. There's that little peak there. So I'm zooming in quite fairly close up. With regard to this, we've got an ABC down, right down to this level here. Okay, that's your ABC. We've got an ABC upwards here, a rejection, A, B, C. But look at this. That C is higher than what this line is there. And now you find it again. Look at that. So now we've got another A, remember A, B, and then a C move up to that target here. And then in between here, we've got the top, we've got an A, B, C. We could wick down slightly, not the end of the world if we wick down. But then ultimately, we're going to go into this target point number 3, 4, 5. Ultimately, the ABC, we can hit about 21.9. Now, if you take into account this data, now remember, this data is almost the same as what we say here. We are about in that area there, where the market is going to go upwards. It's going to go up. It's going to come down slightly. So we're going to go up. We can see there's your ABC. So there's that little move there, and then we're away. What we do algorithm analysis. This is the data that our members receive. And then apart from that, we would actually use a little bit of other data, which is technical data. And you can get so fancy with all these kind of things now. For example, like you can go and use your Fibonacci extensions, your retracements. You can basically go and put that up, and that will give you the levels of the next one, 161, for example, there. And you can get so fancy with these, but it gets very complicated if you don't really know what you're doing. So what we are trying to do is to dumb it down, literally in the sense of, I don't want to show too many charts here, but let's just go back to Bitcoin here, and I'm just going to refresh this chart. So what we say to our members is, here's your basic chart. Let that just load, and then we can quickly get into that. Now, what we give to our members here is this. We say, look, let's just be plain and simple. We know number 4 is number 4. There is your bottom, your bear week. Remember the bear week 5? We predicted that when this was about here, when the lunar crisis happened. We said it's going to go there, it's going to drop again, then we're going to have a bear week. We're going to stay here, and then the market's going to go up. And you can see that we are following this pattern. And it's not over yet. The market is going to be very slow. And without giving too much information away, we also use patterns, cycles, predictive analysis. And if you look at this now, just overlay that there. That is your bottom reversal. Okay. So if you look at that, the bottom reversal basically starts with a drops there, it drops. It comes down into that little peak there, that little peak, it drops, it gives you a sting, like a needle sting. And then it kind of goes up and sideways. And then, of course, here we've just got a bit of a pullback and then upwards. Yeah, that is kind of like, Vikas, just a visual explanation. So there you go, Vikas. I just presented to you what the difference is between what I do with regard to algorithm or predictive analysis, and then with regard to technical analysis like Elliott wave, Fibonacci, and all these technical things. Over to you. Thank you.
Yeah, Marius, I think that gives a bit more clarity. I really appreciate that. I think for people watching this is that people can see now what the value Bitcoin Cash can bring to their trading in terms of how predictive analysis and technical analysis work together. So, Marius, thanks so much. Yeah, we'll chat again. Have a blessed day and a blessed weekend.
Thank you very much, Vikas. Have an awesome day. See you later. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.